Content creation is here to stay. Whether you create content for your brand or for other brands, you're definitely going to want to stay tuned to today's video because I'm sharing with you the visibility hacking team's best practices when it comes to creating content for the sake of connection. Hey, I'm Molly from Visibility Hacking Studios, and we work with small businesses and visionary entrepreneurs and help them turn on what we call their connection machines, where they can stop playing the game of content for the sake of content and start playing the game of content for the sake of connection. So bottom line, we create a ton of content. In today's video, we're going to talk about the intersection between content creation and branding. We'll talk about the art of being everywhere and how to create prolific content. And if you stay tuned till the end, I'll give you a 10x speed boost for all of your content creation needs. So for this and more, stay tuned. Now, before you start publishing your content, you want to think about the foundations of the content you're creating. Of course, you're going to be focusing on creating content that is designed to attract and nurture and create conversations between you and your ideal audience, but we also want to understand how we can grab their attention and how we can build authority and influence with every single piece of content we create. It's actually simpler than you think. You have to start out by understanding your brand, and your brand on a very surface level. Like, what does your brand look like? I want you to think about your fonts and your colors. I want those to be consistent and woven throughout all of your content. So when you put them all together, you can tell they all kind of look alike, they all look like siblings, but at the same time, each piece will be able to stand on its own. If you want to go one step deeper than fonts and colors, think about having graphic elements that again are woven throughout all of your content. For example, the live show that we run on Mondays has this ripped paper aesthetic that is followed through all of our pieces of content, all of our YouTube posts, all of our stories, etc., etc. It carries that same graphic element as well as our fonts, our logos, and our colors. And this way, whenever people are scrolling through their feeds and our content pops up, before they even hear anything, instantly they know that it's the live show. And then the third really important factor that you need to have in place in your content is a cohesive brand message. This is the voice and the feeling and the persona of your brand. I've said it many times before here on the channel. I want you to think about your brand as if it was a person. What would their personality be like? Are they easy to get along with? Are they someone who adds energy to you? Are they more serious and buttoned up? Are they more laid back and carefree? All of these questions I want you to ask of your brand, and then that way you can keep your messaging cohesive across all of your pieces of content. Which brings us to our question of the day. Tell us about your brand. Bonus points if you post some links down in the comments. Tell us how you got started. Who is your brand designed for? What do you help your customers and your movement achieve? Let us know down in the comments. I'm super excited to get to know what you're working on. A few years ago, I changed up the way that we create content and the way that we show up online. Originally, I was focusing so much energy on every single piece of content. Everything had to be original. Everything had to be custom designed for that platform. That was absolutely exhausting, and it wasn't going to be sustainable in terms of a practice of creating content. So while I was on the edge of burnout, I decided to try something completely different, and I'm so glad that I did. What I started to do was take our main pieces of content, our podcasts, the interviews that we did, our live shows, things like that, and I started to chop them up and create micro content. So I'd take a 10-minute long video and I'd chop down to the best 2 minutes of it, and I'd post that in our Facebook group as a preview, pushing people to the original video. And then when shorts came out on the YouTube platform, I started chopping up those videos even shorter into 1-minute clips and posting those. These I realized I could also repurpose onto Instagram Reels and TikToks and so on and so forth, creating such a variety of short form content that served my audience even when I wasn't publishing long-form content. What was really cool about this was within a week or two, I started getting a whole ton of messages from people saying, hey, how are you showing up everywhere? How do you get work done? Aren't you just creating content all of the time? Because I see you all the time. I see you, you're filling up my feed. And this was really exciting to see because the people I was getting these comments from were my ideal customer because they were engaging in the content I was creating. Whether it was long form or short form, I was able to create content that served the needs of my customers where they were. And it was great. So go start creating short form content out of your pre-existing content. Repurpose what works and start reposting all of that stuff. I promise you, either your people won't notice that you're reposting or it'll start to grab their attention because you're going to start showing up much more often. Now, if you want more visibility hacking in your feed, then make sure that you not only hit the subscribe button, but you ring that bell icon so that all of our videos are served up to you hot off the press. You know me, I love to save time. So I got a huge time-saving hack for you since you've watched all the way down to this part of the video. Let me share with you my #1 time-saving hack when it comes to creating content. And that, my friends, is to start with templates. Use and create templates for the kinds of content you create on a regular basis. So for example, we just talked about chopping up your live show into micro content. How about having a template designed where you can just plop in the latest clip from this week's video and the rest of your branding is already there? Or you have a live show that you have a guest regularly. Well, have a template designed for your YouTube cover art. Have a template designed for your announcement posts. Have a template created for your email announcements as well. I don't mean that you have to script out and design each and every element perfectly, but at least having a place to start where all of the required elements are already on the same page, that will save you an absolute ton of time. I even use templates for my video editing. I've created a template with all of my lower thirds, all of the different elements that I use in all of our videos. They're all conveniently located in one file so that I can click and drag them where I need them. It's been able to save me hundreds of hours of time, and I bet it'll save you time as well. Talking about time, it seems to be time for me to boogie. So that's it for today's video, my friend. But if you enjoyed today's video, then I got a couple other options for you as well that I think you'll enjoy. So check those out. I will see you again in our next one. And until I do, remember I love you, be excellent to each other, and just go live because your people are out there and they're waiting for you.